Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, Ginger Girl, Brenda Joe. It's good to have you back. Hope you're feeling a little better. Did you go to the doctor today, girl? We have been missing you. Hello, extended fasting. Good to see you. Welcome in. Trying to get set up here. I ran out of time today. All right. So I hope everybody's day's been good. Poppy Love, hello. K9, hello. So we're continuing our series on Sebastian Rogers, right? Missing since February 26th, which we just discovered recently, right? He was 16 in December, dirty blonde hair, brown eyes, 5'5", weighs between 110 and 120, wears black square rim glasses, okay? Favorite color is green, favorite song is Eye of the Tiger, and we want him home. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We want him home. Melly Cat, hello. Good to see you. You're okay, but you're seeing the doctor on the 14th. Goodness. Hello, Nutter. Well, we'll keep you in our prayers, Brenda Joe. You don't realize how much you're missed when you're gone. All right, so let's see. I'm going to show you the updates from at night first. This was 10 hours. Well, I don't know. Anyway, it's as of January 2nd. We are still grappling with an alarming surge in death threats sent via text and email, which are now specifically directed at plaintiffs in our ongoing case. These threats are being documented alongside the existing complaints logged with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center and other law enforcement agencies. We remain resolute in our pursuit of answers and justice in the disappearance and ongoing search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, 16. If you have any information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please contact the Sumner County Sheriff at 615-451-3838, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation at 1-800-TBI-FIND, or via email at tipstotbi@tbi.tn.gov. You may also reach out to your local FBI office, the nearest American embassy or consulate, or submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov. And alternatively, you can contact Dog the Bounty Hunter at 833-TELL-DOG or at night at 844-922-3236 via phone or text. And you can send email tips to Sebastian at manhunts.one. So, alarming surge in death threats to all the plaintiffs in their RICO case. Not good, guys. At Night is aware of a reward being offered for information on the identities of our staff, a blatant attempt to undermine our mission and intimidate those committed to uncovering the truth. Let us be clear, we will not be deterred, and we will respond decisively. To anyone with information about the individual orchestrating this award, At Night will quadruple the offer for their identity and proof. Something, Ginger, what we were listening to earlier makes me wonder about that individual. Goodness. SRB, hello. Just checking everybody here. All right. And then this one, we are planning a comprehensive search in Tennessee throughout the spring and summer, maintaining our hope that Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is still with us. Dog the Bounty Hunter, along with his team, will embark on a jury from various regions across the United States to Tennessee for this operation. Our mission will involve mobilizing between 5,000 to 10,000 volunteers, a united community driven by compassion and determination. We intend to coordinate with local, state, and federal authorities as we will systematically cover every priority area, leaving no potential location unturned. Wow. Information on how to sign up will be made available as the operations require. Dog the Bounty Hunter and his entire team will be traveling to Hendersonville for the effort. Our unwavering commitment to finding him alive remains steadfast. Please let us keep that hope alive. And once again, for this one, information will go to Sebastian at manhunts.1, call or text at night, or Dog the Bounty Hunter at 833-TELL-DOG. And their commitment is that night remains relentless in the pursuit of truth and justice for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. While this lead is being pursued, we assure the public that every effort is being made to bring clarity and resolution to this case. Your continued cooperation and vigilance remain invaluable. So, interesting. So I was kind of thinking that well, hello, Samantha. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping on in. So I was listening to something today. It's kind of interesting. And I don't know, it seems like there was one individual out there who was, when you read that, you kind of lost some hope. I know, Kane, I know what I'm thinking that is, do you remember when At Night put out the number of states and cities and different things? I know one of them was only an hour away from me. Do you think I could think of the name of it? But anyway, the specific locations, if they're looking for that many volunteers, it's making me wonder, and it said certain areas. Let me go back to that. Oh, it did say a comprehensive search in Tennessee. But it said we'll embark on a jury from various regions across the United States to Tennessee for this operation. That part right there made me wonder if they aren't putting people in those areas, asking for volunteers for in those areas. And I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. There are areas of focus that they've gotten tips on. That was my thought, K9. I didn't lose hope through that. It is a lot of volunteers. That's why I'm thinking it's, well, spring's not that far away. And that, when you're talking that many volunteers, that's a lot of work. But when you're talking that many volunteers, I mean, if you think about it, it would make sense they're not all in one area, right? So they're probably, wanting volunteers in those specific areas, which would make sense to me. But anyway, what I was going to say is that it's looking like at least one individual has been causing some trouble. And it's not good. So, Juicy Jules, yes, we need peace. Well, we need to have Sebastian home in 2025. And I don't think there'll be peace until that's done, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little bit concerned, right, about what I heard today, but, well, I can't say a whole lot about it. So I just, let's just pray that people start doing what's right, you know. Um no, I don't think it's going to be years. No. I I I choose not to believe that juicy story, but I really choose not to believe that it's going to take 5 years to find Sebastian. I believe this is a year. I believe it's going to happen, and we're going to find the answers that we need. That's what I'm believing for. Sooner rather than later. But the one thing that I did want to kind of talk about was social media evidence in Sebastian's case, right? How has it affected things? And how will it affect things if this case goes to trial? Think about everything that has gone on um, in this case. I mean, here's just a few headlines that I pulled off today. Just a few of them. And some of these videos were excellent. I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying, look at, and that's just because, I mean, I have over probably 60 videos on Sebastian alone. And how many other people have that many or more, right? Probably more than I've got. And so, I mean, this is just a tiny, minute part of what's been going on in the Sebastian Rogers case and the headlines that are out there. So I kind of wanted to talk about, what social media does, and how it's affected Sebastian's case, because we know that digital footprints in forensics investigations has become um, very important in cases, right? We've seen it. Look at, I mean, probably the biggest one I can think of that it affected was, well, the one that's near and dear to my heart is the Gabby Petito case, right? That was pivotal. Pivotal. Social media was in- instrumental in bringing her home to her family, right? Um, ranging from social media interactions, browsing histories, right? Histories to GPS data, email logs, all can uncover true self crimes and ensure justice. What do you think? What do you think? Um, what kind of truths and email logs, GPS data? We've already heard. I mean, didn't Chris get triggered by his truck geodata? Right? So all that stuff can play a role in this case, which should give us some hope, because when that stuff all starts coming out, and of course, I mean, don't think for a second that law enforcement doesn't have a lot of it already. I mean, they took everybody's phones, right? So they already have a lot of stuff. But think about this. Half of the United States adults, about 54%, say that at least sometimes they get news from social media. At least sometimes. I don't know about you guys, but do you watch the news on TV? Because I sure don't. Yep. Or more people. I jump on YouTube right away in the morning. That's where my news is from, right? Yep, we recently had more YouTube players get involved. Yep. And K9, you never watch the news, right? That's what you're saying? Yeah, I don't. I don't turn on the TV. SRB says she barely watches the TV news. My TV isn't turned on. It's not to say that I won't look at a news channel on YouTube or if I'm researching a case. That sounds funny, watching the news on YouTube. Um, you haven't watched TV since 2020, right? The only time I watch TV is for my Bears games. Don't hate on me, guys. Yes, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. This year and many years now. I don't know why, but I am. um, but even then, I mean, my dad loved the Bears. I was born and raised mostly in Chicago, so my dad loved the Bears, and I paid for Sunday ticket for him, and I refuse to pay for Sunday ticket anymore. So I can only, now that I'm living in Wisconsin, I can only watch them every so often. And you try to catch the last 15 minutes, but yeah, even then you're still half asleep. Yeah, I just don't, because I don't turn my TV on. So, but Facebook and YouTube outpace all other social media sites as places where Americans regularly get news. Isn't that crazy? About a third of United States adults say they regularly get news on each of these two sites. That's crazy, in my opinion. But you know what? It was your brother-in-law's a Bears fan. Go Bears! Tell him you know a Bears fan. No. So what was I going to say? Oh, it was this morning on Facebook that I found out about Alan Osmond passing away. Right? I don't know if you guys know who Alan Osmond is. He was one of the Osmond brothers. 73 years old. So yeah, I believe it too. So that was a bit of news that I caught this morning on Facebook. I mean, you just, it is what it is. Now my dad, that generation, those of them who are still alive, my dad wasn't on the internet at all. He, trying to get him to understand what a mouse was. I mean, that was, wasn't happening. But I, you know, my generation, obviously, I mean, there's a lot of people close to my age in here that you guys are here with me tonight, right? So, the other thing is large scale data collection through social media raises various ethical concerns. And we've kind of seen that in this case, haven't we? Consent, privacy, transparency, data security. That's why it's important. And I feel it's important, but it doesn't seem like there. I mean, we all know creators who don't think that's important, because if they did, they wouldn't have put sus stuff out there, right? But I think it's important to make sure we're acting ethically and responsibly, protecting the privacy and security of everybody, right? I think that's extremely important. And anyone who decides to do something on social media should be taking that very, very seriously, in my opinion. You had to have dinner done by 6 and then all quiet so your dad could watch the news. That's funny. With us, it wasn't like that. It was if the Bears, the Bulls, the Blackhawks, or the Cubs were on. It didn't matter what you wanted to watch. That's what was on TV. I mean, Dad's sports outdid everybody else's choices. That's right. 20 years ago, we sat and caught the evening news every day. Yeah, exactly. And you're right, Canine. So, do you think it's changed because of social media? I'm wondering, right? In my opinion, it's less credible than it used to be. I'm thinking that they're trying to compete with social media and they're getting more sensationalistic. Um, so if you look at the social media in this case, key social media platforms involved YouTube, X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, Discord. What other social media platforms are involved in the Sebastian Rogers case, guys? Have I missed anything? The quality of news coverage, yeah, it is. So, my title is Unmasking the True Social Media Evidence in the Sebastian Rogers case. That's what we're talking about, extended fasting. So, if it's not what you want to hear, you don't have to stay. It's up to you. We're happy to have you, but if it's not what you want to hear, it's okay. Kanan, you only have YouTube? For me, it's easier to run to online for a story versus sitting and waiting for the news segment. I agree. We're all so busy nowadays that trying to sit down for a specific time sometimes is not as easy, you know. But being like, if YouTube, you can go back and you can like rewatch one of my videos or something if you missed it, right? So, but the evidence that gets discovered is through profiles, posts, and interactions. So what evidence have we discovered? We've discovered through video, right? Katie's account of what happened. Okay. That was mainly through the videos that she did, right? Because she hasn't commented much. That's a good point, Ginger. We get quicker alerts of events on social media than waiting for the news. That's really true. We do. Instead of waiting at 6:00, for example, to find out, that, for instance, that Wayne Osmond died, right? We hear about it, right away in the morning. Yeah, that's a really good point. So, what other evidence has been discovered through social media? Well, we had the Texas Roadhouse video, right? So, the Texas Roadhouse video, that was a big one for evidence, right? Because what did it show? It showed, as far as we know, the last time that Sebastian Rogers was seen. However, we have since heard differently, haven't we? That he was last seen on the 26th, not the 25th. I'd like to know who has seen it, but K9, yep, the flashlights video and the interviews. Flashlights, that was a huge one. Neighbors' accounts, law enforcement's accounts, right? All that came up on social media. Well, law enforcement, I guess probably they went through Nick Barris, so that's mainstream media. um, but it was also shared on many other platforms as well. So if we missed it on Nick Barris, then we got to see it on other platforms, right? But most major news channels nowadays have YouTube accounts. So what do you think the impact of all the social media evidence in the Sebastian Rogers case is going to be? Think about this, guys. Think about all the distractions, all the noise, all the lawsuits, all the everything out there. Nutter, yeah. Like to know who's seen him and where. Me too. I really would. But think about all this stuff that has come out. Microdot, hello, good to see you. All this stuff that has come out about the Sebastian Rogers case. How is that gonna affect any kind of trial that there might be? And I guess I would like to know who these unknown people on the phone calls. What? I'm not following you. What unknown people? I mean, I think there's so much going on, right? I would like to know if it's true that it was seen that someone was being carried over the shoulder by somebody. I mean, evidently the neighbor said that, Bobby. And I know there's a lot of controversy about Bobby right now. I was going to kind of show that video tonight, possibly, but looks like, oh, I know what you're talking about, Ginger Girl. Yeah, we'll address that in a second. But looks like that video was privated. So, you know, I mean, there's people being attacked for no reason, right? Attacking a neighbor. Come on, that's ridiculous. So yes, At Night has said that they have potentially identified the person on the phone call, and they made the phone call before they called the police that day, which we were not aware of. Not during their long call, the one just before they called the police on that day. They told you who it was, Ginger? Who told you who it was? What does... I'm going to look at that post again just to hear exactly what they said, if I can find it. I don't... And it popped up right in front of me. Okay, here it is. I'm going to share my screen. I said if I can find it, and it was right there when I pulled it up. It was shared by somebody else. But at night has reason to believe it has identified the individual who first received the report of Sebastian Waindrake Rogers' disappearance prior to its escalation to law enforcement on February 26th. Furthermore, our team has likely determined the identity of the individual engaged in the extensive phone conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot on the morning of Sebastian's purported disappearance. So, they had a three-way with this person before they called law enforcement. Not before they called 911, because Chris did not call 911. So it was before. Dreaming of blue skies. Hello, hello. Oh, I was wondering. Did I read that wrong? Yes, but they did tell me who it was, you said. That's why I thought. You meant didn't tell you who it was? So, yeah, it would be interesting to know. But, it's like I've said, we never know for sure, right? Sometimes they just can't tell us everything, and that's okay. I would rather have them not tell me, than to, hurt the investigation. That's right, because remember she said she was already out looking and he three-wayed. Right, but there was a three-way with this other person before. So there was 2 three-way phone calls. Well, I think she was specifically, though. Wasn't she talking about that it was law enforcement? Right. There were 2 separate phone calls, SRB. The first one was with this unknown person that evidently at night now feels they know who they called. They didn't call dispatch until 6:33. That was a separate call. Me too, K9, me too. I'd give anything, but, we don't want the case jeopardized. She did admit to a three-way prior to dispatch. Much more information has come forward more than with Summer. I agree. Yes, metal bracelets, beds, and toilets. I believe there's going to be justice in this case. I believe that. So, yeah, it would be nice to know who that person was that they called, but, I don't know. I mean, we could sit here and guess, but he did say he called his mom to be with KP. Maybe. But she said she didn't get there till like 10:30. Although Seth said she was already there when he got there. And he was there about, what, 8:30, he said? So, I don't know. If they're involved in this, they might have called a lawyer. That's a possibility. I'm not saying they're involved, I'm just saying that that's a possibility. They might have called a lawyer first before they called, um, law enforcement. Okay. KB said they were on a three-way when she was out looking, but that time seems to be prior to the 6:33 call to dispatch is what I'm thinking. But didn't she say that Chris, I don't think that jives, SRB. The reason I'm thinking that is because she said that Chris told her to get home because they were on their way there. Aquarian, hello. It got changed. Blessings to you. CP is the one who wanted the three-way. Microdot. uh, oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my goodness. It was, however, she said it in Olivia's interview. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong thing. Um, yeah, yeah, because she said she went looking right away, didn't she? I I don't know. Here's the thing. Are are we really trying to believe what they say now after all the inconsistencies? I mean, we're trying to pin this thing down, and according to what Katie said, and it probably doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? So, because they haven't told the truth. They've been inconsistent. And so, I mean, there's been behavior analysis out there that says they were not telling the truth, guys. So why are we trying to fit it? Because it doesn't fit. It just dawned on me it doesn't fit. But if there, evidently there's proof that there was another phone call before their call to dispatch. And allegedly it was a three-way call. So within 5 minutes of your feet hitting the floor, you're turning on computer. I won't say it's 5 minutes because I get up, and take the dog out, get my coffee, then I'm on the computer. KP said she was on mute, but then CP had to tell her to go home because Ellie was on their way. That didn't make sense to me. Yeah, I don't think she is being truthful there. They're not being truthful about something. Because wasn't it Chris that said she went out looking right away? But from the neighbor said that she came outside and she was helping her look outside, right? So yeah, I mean they're not being truthful about something. There's 2 three-way calls. 2 three-way calls. I'll show it one more time. At night has reason to believe it has identified the individual who first received the report of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' disappearance. Furthermore, our team has likely determined the identity of the individual engaged in the extensive phone conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot on the morning of Sebastian's purported disappearance. So it had to have been a three-way phone call. Engaged in an extensive phone conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot on the morning of Sebastian's purported disappearance. And it was prior to them calling law enforcement on February 26th. Right? So 2 three-way phone calls. Which makes sense because we've always wondered, why did it take them so long to call law enforcement? If Katie saw that Sebastian was missing at 6 o'clock, why did they not call law enforcement until 6:33? Microdot, I don't know. I'd like to see receipts where you said there were bare footprints on the ground near the pond, because I've never heard that. I don't know if it was opposite. Let's see, I'll pull it up on Google Map. But she wouldn't have driven right past the pond, though. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find it for us. Okay, share this tab. Everybody see it okay? Okay. So here is their house right here. She would have come out this way, gone down this way, and from what everybody said, she went this way. Okay. The pond was actually the one that they did was actually right here, according to what CJ said. Now there's a road through there. But the pond that they drained was right here, guys. So she didn't drive past it. She wouldn't have even seen it from this road. Right. So she came to Kellen, turned right, went down Long Hollow Pike to this intersection. Here was Worsham's. Why she went this way to the high school, I do not know, guys. Because she could have came right through here. Or even here. But instead, she went all this way around. Past Worsham's. which there's been talk that, and we don't have any evidence, but there was talk that Kristen's mom was seen at Worsham's, and that there are like 7 or 8 people that are convinced that she was sitting there in her car and it was her. So I don't know. And yes, that pond was drained. Not only that, but narc divers walked that pond afterwards, again, in the mud. I have a video of that if you guys want to go back and look. You heard on the dispatch about a boot print by the pond. Yeah. Yep. Which that would not be unusual. Any construction workers would be wearing boots, right? So yeah, good conversation, guys. I mean, I'm glad you guys are sharing all of this, right? So when we're talking about social media in this case, how harmful do you think it's been about the privacy for people? I mean, we're kind of talking about everybody here, right? Misinterpreting casual online activity as criminal intent, using posts out of context to create a biased narrative, right? That's never good, guys. Privacy concerns regarding access to personal information. I just saw that this week. I watched as Seth's information was put out there. Because, yes, I want to know what's going on. So sometimes I watch things. Potential for manipulation of digital evidence. Risk of prejudice against individuals based on their online presence. And that can potentially impact their legal rights. So sometimes I wonder if, people just go too far. Yeah, no problem, Aquarian. Exactly, Nutter. And that kind of water. It was a retention pond, so it was muddy. It's not clear. Sebastian didn't like to be dirty. So Samantha says maybe he woke up in the middle of the night to use the restroom and he saw someone through the restroom window outside with a flashlight and he got his and followed the stranger. Do you really think so? Because I don't. Because number one, there was no scent of him leaving the house. There was no footprint tracks, nothing. So it's my opinion. He never walked out on his own. He didn't. I just have a hard time believing that. I believe he was carried out. I really do. But I appreciate, you sharing that. There's been a lot of people that have wondered if he walked out. No windows in his bathroom. Exactly, Samantha. Exactly. Yeah. And people can say what they want. They can say that those of us who believe that Katie and Chris are responsible, um, you know, are all on one side and we're all, slanted in our thinking or whatever. That's not true. Not once has anyone, and I mean, of course, I've chatted or whatever with some of these creators a little bit, but I don't know any of them really well. The one that I've chatted with the most probably is Betty, and more so in the chat when she's been in here. So, it's not like I know them really well. And Seth is not feeding people a narrative. Guys, he's not. He's not feeding anybody anything. Unlike what we heard, or if you didn't hear, but heard through the grapevine, on that panel that night with Elevated Truth, that Chris was planting a narrative in their minds. Well, Seth's not doing that, and if Seth tried to do that with me, honestly, I would say, Seth, I respect you. I love you. Sebastian, I'm all for that, him coming home to you, but please don't tell me how to run my program, my channel, because it's not going to happen. Right. And if any of you know Betty, I think she would say the same thing. I don't think Justin would fall for that. Right. Mr. E, I don't think they would fall for that. Brittany, from what I'd seen of them, I don't think anybody would fall for that. Right. So here you've got all of these creators on their own with the thought that the mother and stepfather are responsible for Sebastian's disappearance. We're all critical thinkers in our own right. We're not being led, we're not being puppeted, right? But we've all come to the same conclusion. Why is that? Because it's critical thinking. Actually, it's common sense, right? Common sense. It really is. And I don't know that we're ever going to really know the entire truth until Sebastian is home, or until there's charges, whichever comes first, because law enforcement's not going to tell us. And Dog and Nick and At Night are not going to tell us either, because they're not going to jeopardize the investigation, guys. And none of us would want them to. Because I think there's something that we all can agree on, is that there has to be justice for Sebastian. That's right. We are. We are. And and the facts that we know, I mean, they're glaring. The things that are standing out to us, it's like they're glaring. There's a big spotlight on them. There's so many lies, so many inconsistencies. Even behavior panelists agree. Everybody that has any sense, it's, I'm not even going to say that's a professional, because some people consider themselves to be professional and are just causing so much distraction and hate that it blows my mind. Yeah. And here's the thing. What do you think is blinding them? Do you think they just can't think with an open and critical thinking, open mind critical thinking. Do you think they're being paid behind the scenes? Because I've heard that now. Bashing for cash. I've heard that stuff. I didn't even know that existed until I got on YouTube. It is. It's evil. It's evil. It's awful. But I seriously, I've wondered what is it? Why can't they see it? I don't get it. I don't get it. And guys, I've seen enough to know that some of them, their heels are dug in. They're not going to change their minds. They're not going to. No matter what anybody said to them, they're not going to change their minds. It's not going to happen. It did. See, I didn't follow that case, so that's interesting. Yeah, I don't do that. Is it as simple as, I mean, maybe I'm trying to look at it too critically, but is it as simple as the clicks, the money, drama sells, everybody? And that's the other thing I don't get, right? The amount of people who are all behind those people that like to throw hate. That too. I mean, it shocks me, you know? And if that's the case, Ginger, I'm as much as I feel bad about Summer, and as much because you guys know I have a heart toward the missing, I really do. I'm glad I didn't follow that case then because enough. It's enough with this one. 30, it was not 30 below, but it was 30 degrees, wasn't it? No shoes, no coat. Doesn't add up. Because Tennessee doesn't get that cold. Not below 0. Wisconsin, I'd say yes, 30 below, but I think it was 30 degrees. No shoes, no coat. Right. There it is. Drama sells and it makes money. Yeah. Oh, great. Well, here's the thing. This creator, this old granny, does not know Seth, does not know the Proudwoods. Do I have a heart for Seth? Absolutely. I want to see Sebastian brought home to him more than anything. But I think there is kind of a I don't know, a safety in not personally knowing the parents, right? Because I think when you're looking at things and you're trying to remain objective, you can't be if you personally know someone, right? I'm not saying that the people who do know him, like Betty, I think Betty could be objective no matter what. I do. Justin too, I think so. But I think there's And maybe that's the problem with the other creators, right? Y you know, "Hello, reach for the sky, good to see you." I can tell you one of those was the first to be driving by the house. I know. And why the sudden flip on that person? That person is totally flipped from Seth's side. Oh, I hate that thing. To the other one. Yes, everybody. Because when you sub up, when we get to 1,000, we're gonna do a drawing, guys. But yeah, so and I guess I will honestly say that because I've been so invested in the Sebastian case and I've been on every single night, um, I have grown as well. So in a way, somebody looking at it could say that I benefited from the Sebastian Rogers case. But I I'm here to tell you that I'm here for other cases as well, right? We're talking about the Dan Markle case. I brought up the Emma Baum. Um, I mean, we've talked about Stephanie Damron. There's other cases out there. And when Sebastian's is solved, it'll be somebody else's that we'll be talking about, right? Every night. So, um, have I benefited from talking about Sebastian? Of course. Have I made a bunch of money from talking about Sebastian? No. No, I haven't. But it's okay because my heart is for Sebastian. My heart is trying to find him. So, I just put it out there that some people have, liked the drama and the clicks, and they're growing fast by doing that. That's okay. I'd rather build a good family community that doesn't want the garbage and the drama, right? But that we wanna figure things out. We have a heart, and we wanna figure things out. Where is he? Right? Oh, that's a good thought, Ginger. The next live, bring a new sub with you. We're on every night at 6:05 Central Time, sometimes 6. Thank you, Aquarian. I try. I was, um, busy making soap today along with doing another video. So I've been working overtime. Nutter, yeah. I keep my pulse on them just because I wanna know what's going on in the YouTube community, and I wanna know mainly what to stay away from. But yes, you're right. Big headache. Big headache. Samantha, thank you. Right. It's different when you're discussing the case versus just discussing the drama. That's right. It really is. It really is. It really is. Oh. Thank you. I'm glad. 'Cause that's my goal for this channel. I want everyone to feel safe, welcomed here, free to speak what they need to speak, to share their opinions or thoughts. I don't want yes people in here. That's not the point, right? It's okay to disagree, okay? As long as we're all respectful and it's not hate, right? Aw, thank you, Nutter. Yeah, just like disrespect and being hateful, um, you know, putting down other creators. You know, I will never understand that. I will not. I will never understand that at all. I don't care what somebody else does to you. Justin said it the other night on his live, and I I thought, yes, that's exactly what I've been thinking, because he said, so what if they say something about you? Ignore it and just do what you do. Love them anyway, right? And that's the way I feel. You know, um, thankfully, I don't think anybody's come at me. If they have, I haven't seen it. Um, but they'll never hear me coming back at them if they do, right? Because that's just not this granny. I just don't do that. I don't believe in it. I want to treat others the way that I want to be treated. So that's the way it is. Um, so let's see. I'm thinking as far as, the future of what's going on with social media. I think that it brings a really good element to criminal cases. That's my thought. And I think, well, we've seen it. We've seen it help. Well, hello, Gigi. Good to see you. We have seen it help. Gabby Petito case. That was my first true crime case that I was so invested in. Cried a lot of tears over that one, guys. But because that couple had been taking video, in the Grand Teton National Forest, and remembered seeing Gabby's van when they got home and saw it on TV, that's when Gabby was found. That's how Gabby was found. So social media can play a good role. Oh, Aquarian, thank you. You're so sweet. Here's a little donation to help kick off the new year, Granny. Thank you for all you do to help solve these sad cases. Aw. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. And so does. Aw, thank you. Thank you. So, I believe that. Let's see what Rose would say. I want to know what the end game was to reveal all sus info. I guess it's public record, but not yet. Well, his driver's license and his social security card was not public record. That's personal identifying information, even if it's crossed off. So, the end game, hate and distraction. That's my opinion. Hate and distraction. And yes, if used the right way, social media can do wonders. It can. So, here's something that I don't know if you guys have heard, but when it comes to those kind of channels, people have said, what about it being for Sebastian? And one of the creators, not going to name who, said, I'm so tired of people asking me that. My channel is not just about Sebastian. My channel is about me and what I want to do with it. So, if you've ever wondered, what does this have to do with Sebastian? For that side, that's what they say. Oh, you knew who they were? I believe so too. I believe so too. They're just trying to push his buttons. The best thing you can do is ignore them and smile and say, "Have a great day." I know that they are. But, when people are coming at you nonstop, you've got to wonder, um, I agree, because wasn't there just a grannyism for that? About, um, the intelligent ignore. So, yes, I agree with you, Gigi. Um, but when somebody is putting out your personal identifying information because they had his weight, everything else, guys, come on. We don't need to know. We can look at him and guess if that's really that important to us. Really? I mean, is that important to us? But shouldn't they be held accountable in court for doing that? I don't know. I think so, but I know. Exactly. Exactly. No notoriety, no name, no talking, nothing. Oh, thank you. All that stuff really isn't going to help find Sebastian. No, it's not. None of it is. But if you hear them tell it, that's not what they're doing. It's not what their channel's about. My question is then, why are they talking about him? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Aw, you're so sweet, Aquarian. Exactly, Rosebud. Yeah, it is vile. I Good question. That's a really good question. I don't know. The last time that we saw them in court, they looked a little bit bigger, right? I don't know. It is. It's just useless information, right? There's there's no real purpose for doing it, for putting it out there, other than to cause a distraction. What is it doing? It's even got us talking about it, right? I mean, we're not talking about Sebastian, are we? You know, I'd rather go back to even somebody thinking that Sebastian is hiding in a an event here in the high school. Right here in the high school, guys. Right over here somewhere. Yeah. Which, wouldn't that just be something if that's where they found him? Yeah, they are. Exactly, Melissa. And they'll move on looking for the next one. Yeah. Yeah. Clicks and views. That's all it is. It's all it is. Um, but and that's the thing. Where is Sebastian, right? I mean, he could be anywhere, guys. I mean, did they hand him off? Is he on a labor farm somewhere? No one is talking about putting out 10 flyers a day anymore. Yeah, that's true. Harley Dilly, I don't know that case. Thank you, Gigi, I will. And you keep coming to remind me of that, okay? Everybody needs a little reminder to stay on track, to stay focused, right? Everybody does. Everybody does. I'm old enough, I learned if you're shaying someone next week, that someone is you. What goes around comes around. No one's perfect. No one. Exactly. Exactly. Hello, meow, meow. Aw. So, yeah, I mean, Cheryl, I love it. I love it. I love it. Overcome evil by doing good. Yeah, but it won't last, right? It won't last. Because overcome evil by doing good. And be sure that your sin will find you out. Harley went missing and 4 months later was found stuck in a chimney. And that's what the same person said. Stuck in a chimney because, okay, so he told me that too. He said, where was it? I think it was this house right here. He said, this house had a big chimney. And he wondered if Sebastian could be in it. And he asked me to send that to Dog. I didn't send it to Dog, but you know why I didn't send it to Dog? Because we had, well, we're on our second winter now, right? Um, if Sebastian would have been stuck in that chimney, he would have been found. So, or even in the vent in the high school where he was saying, I think it was this one right here. It would have been found. So that's my question. Where is he? Did they put him on a labor farm? You know, one of the I kind of mentioned it earlier, but one of the towns that they mentioned was Stanley, Wisconsin. Well, Stanley, Wisconsin, I'll show you guys on the map. Um, my mic is in my way. Okay. So this is Stanley, Wisconsin right here. It is not very big. Population 3,804. Okay. But look at all the farmland. You see that? Um, even down here, there was name of a farm. I forget where it was. Chippewa Dairy. So, I mean, there's a lot of farmland. Terry Family Farm, right? Mar Brothers. So there's lots of farms in Stanley, Wisconsin. Excuse me. Could he be there in a labor farm? Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Ah, so the house. Well, Cheryl, welcome in. Let's see. So Smiley was talking to someone that said he was at the school. It might have been the same guy. Was his name Mike? You remember Mike K9? It was Mike. A house chimney Harley was found in was a vacant home. Yeah. Searching the red building within the first few days. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he's hiding anywhere either. There's no evidence to point to him walking out of the house anyway. Um I hear you. Rosebud. Stanley's 3 hours from you? Gotcha. Welcome, welcome, Cheryl. We're so happy to have you here. What would they say in Stanley? Why would they say in Stanley what labor farm? Well, farms will a lot of times take illegal immigrants. I know around here there are a lot of Mexicans on the farms. Antigo has a lot of farms. So Stanley probably takes in people too, takes in children, whatever, you know. You've got, scrupulous people all the time. Right. Did they drop him off? I don't know. I agree. I agree. I mean, this is only an hour from me, in Stanley here, and I gotta tell you, I've thought about going and, um, you know, asking some questions around town, but then I thought, no, you know, at night, dog, they picked this area for a reason. Let the professionals handle it. I did offer, my services to dog, um, and if they want me, they know how to reach me. Great deer hunting area. Yes, that's where I live, Rosebud. Aw, I'm glad, Cheryl. Looking at boys' homes. Yeah. Um, that's what at night was thinking was, instead of being like trafficked, um, and I think they've exhausted the homes thing, thinking labor farms, right? And so that's a possibility. They hand him off. They were wanting to get rid of him, you know. And remember that Chris said Sebastian liked, machinery. He was using that backhoe, right? And he was really good at it. So that would make sense, right? I know. I can't even imagine, but it is what it is, I guess, We can I mean, I would rather think of Sebastian being on, um, a work farm than being SEX trafficked or worse. How about you guys? I mean, that would be the better case scenario. Yeah, it's definitely an angle to look at. Right. Right. Exactly. And you know, as far as Seth goes with that case, I mean, I don't think that if they would have said he needs to go now. Yeah, I could. I could put flyers up in that area. Um, and I may at some point. I know. Especially with what he went through as a boy, right? To have that happen to him, I can't stand the thought of that. Chris seems very confident that it'll not be found. Why so confident? Well, I don't want to go there, honestly. Why he's so confident. I can't begin to think that either. I can't. But changing his identity, sure. I see that. And is that why Green Hoodie was there? That's my opinion. Not necessarily Aquarian. Um, but I th- you'd be surprised. Um, there's a lot of work that has to be done on farms, right? And these farmers will take on just about anybody, you know. So wanted him to man up, put him to work. That would sound like Chris, wouldn't it? Right? Actually scammed by traffickers. Yeah, could be. But as far as what I was saying, I think that if they ever said to him, well, he's got to be gone. We have to do something. We need him gone. Then Seth would have taken him, right? Seth did not know what that poor child was going through. Exactly. He was well behaved. He came home from school, spent time alone doing chores and homework until his mom came home. He was. And we saw how well behaved he was in the Texas Roadhouse video. He was so good. I know, Rosebud, but here's the thing. I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's not going to hurt to put up flyers for sure. But think about this. If he is in a farm in that area, we don't want him to be moved. Right? I'd rather have the professionals take care of it than for me to start, putting myself in the middle of something that I'm not even sure about. Um, at night, dog brought up that area. So as close as it is to me and as tempted as I am, I don't want to put myself in the middle of an investigation where I don't belong. I'm not an expert. He would have taken him sooner. I know he would have. You you know, you don't have to know Seth to see his heart, right? I don't know Seth, but I can see his heart. And I think everybody else can too that's really looking at him in the right way. Yeah, Green Hoodie. Hmm. That's a good question. I would have never, ever thought of that. It's a possibility. I mean, he's pretty he's 16 though. But he's, what did they say, 10 emotionally? I did contact them. I'm waiting to hear back. Did you see KP take a photo of Sebastian inside? Yeah, could very well be, right? Various reasons. Very well be. I don't know, guys. Married, huh? That would be weird. I think, honestly, that the work farm idea probably is a little more plausible. I don't know. It is more plausible to my way of thinking, but I don't think like Chris does. Sarah's mulling back off, just be traveling through. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But I think we'll stop it there for tonight. And I'm gonna show you my grannyism for today. So social media does not create negativity, it uncovers it. Right? And that's kind of what we've been seeing, haven't we, guys? We've been watching negativity being uncovered big time in this case. Just negativity, but we could have hate underneath here too, right? So, thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Welcome all the new members, and hopefully on the next live we'll be at 1,000 and we'll do a drawing, okay? So thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.